I like a good survival horror game, but in all this time, I've never played a Silent Hill game. So what better way to start with a remake of the second game in the series? Due to this game's reputation and the fact that I've never played it before and know nothing about it, I'm going to go in almost completely blind for the first run. I have absolutely no metric to measure the remake against the original, but I have heard that it is generally well received across the board. Like a lot of survival horror games, multiple playthroughs will be required for various trophies. I have checked out the trophy list, of course, just to see what I can grab along the way, but I'll save all that strategic saving and run specifics for the second run. This might mean I'll have to do a third run, but we'll cross that hurdle if and when I need to. Let's do this! James Sunderland is our protagonist of this game, and he has received a letter from his wife, which is not all that weird, except for the fact that she has died 3 years earlier. Instead of applying any rational thought, James flat out decides it obviously must be his wife and heads to Silent Hill, which is a place of significance in their relationship. What a shitbox car. Oh, thank God we can run. What's this? Oh, it's our save point. Okay. As we follow the path, we come to a map board, and that unlocks our first trophy. Enjoy your stay. We are now officially in Silent Hill, and we have our first trophy on the board. It's not just foggy, it's quite a moist place, isn't it? The Trophy Archivist requires us to find all of these memos, but it all has to be done in one run. It'll probably not happen in my first run, but my OCD does compel me to try and find everything. I rummage through this kitchen. Oh, nutritional supplement health drink, oh yeah. I believe that. Coming into our first house, we can hear a radio on the armchair, and this is where we encounter our first enemy of the game. And we're going to grab the 2x4 off the window to use as our first weapon. Oh, it's dripping funny smelling water on me. I don't like this. I'm going to beat you down. Are you dead? One more smack. Now you're dead. What's this? A syringe. Oh yeah. Syringe that gives you the infection, not cures it. There is a trophy for not using the radio for the entire game, so I'm going to turn it off immediately. Well, there's medicine in the car. I'm going to break the window to get that. Most of this early area is just us getting familiar with the game, but I find a dead body with a matchbook belonging to Neely's bar, so that looks like our first point to head to. Inside this cafe, since there's nobody around, I decide to loot the cash register, and instead of getting wads of hundreds, I get a coin for the bar. Hey, he crawled through the window. Go away. Arriving at the bar, we find a letter saying that there is a missing button for the jukebox and half a record, so we've got to go and track these items down. But this is the main crux of the game, to track down keys and various items to solve puzzles and progress to the next areas. And I make my way over to the record shop where I can find glue and the other half of a vinyl. This does not feel essential to my mission. And then I'll head over to the apartments and go upstairs into a bathroom with a glory hole. With that being done, I'll come back to the bar where I can use those items to solve the jukebox puzzle. Gotta love those old games when unrelated items are found inside other things. Playing the record gives James flashbacks to Rosewater Park. I guess we'll be heading to Rosewater Park, but it's not that simple. To get to the park, we gotta go through the Woodside apartments first. Conveniently, these bloody rags left out on the ground, in no suspicious manner whatsoever, have the key that we need. Oh, the wind's picked up a bit. And upon arriving at the Woodside apartments, we unlock another trophy. Our main goal for this level, if you'd call it that, is to find the coins for this puzzle at the back of reception and to solve it to move on. As I said, it's all just a case of finding items, solving puzzles, progressing onwards. I'm going to explore as much as I can, check everywhere I can for anything I can find. First up, room 202 has a light coming from it. Ah, it's a torch. We make our way over to this gate to try and grab this key that I need, but some bratty kid turns up and kicks them out of my reach. What the hell? But by whatever means, that has opened up another door, so we can just go around the other way to go and pick them up. And running through these apartments, I've been pushing on all the doors that I come past, because you just never know if they might open, and doing this 50 times unlocks, you never know. What's that red thing at the end? Oh shit, it's Pyramid Head. Hi. We're going to find our first gun in this trolley in room 217. It's a miracle there are any bullets left given the state of the walls. Over in room 208, I slid the wardrobe out of the way and immediately get locked in the room that's hidden behind it. Oh, I've got to figure out the combo to get this one. Opening the safe gives me the first of the 3 coins I need. Why is there a key just sitting on a chair in the middle of the room? The next coin is hidden in a strange place, inside some bloody apple canned juice? I can drop that down the laundry chute, okay. Oh, okay, there's the other coin. Back downstairs, we can hear somebody being sick. This is Eddie. He's probably sick because he looked inside the fridge. Looks like a Cannibal Corpse album cover. We're going to leave Eddie to wallow in his own crapulence and go outside of his room. There's an empty pool filled with enemies, and that's where our third coin is. And now we have the third coin, we can go back to the puzzle and solve it. That gives us a key for room 201. And room 201 gives us our first introduction to Pyramid Head, although we did see him earlier. This is his first actual introduction. James wisely decides to hide immediately, but then also unwisely decides firing shots point blank into plate steel is a good idea. And then old Conehead just leaves? Alright. We're going to follow him through the red door, and that's going to take us to the next area. This place is in serious need of hot, soapy water. Now we are in some kind of corrupt nightmare alternate facsimile of the real world. This is known as the other world, infested with all the tetanus you could ever want or need. Silent Hill wasn't exactly the shining beacon of cleanliness, but I never felt I could get lockjaw from taking a deep breath either. Grabbing a map, we find out this is the Blue Creek Apartments.
Oh, here we are. The utility room.
And just like the previous apartments, we need to travel through the rooms, and the goal here is to find the hands for this grandfather clock. Once we crank this valve open, it'll cause the radio to fall down out from the ceiling, and we can grab the hour hand from that. Placing that in the clock will open up the H door. Pretty quickly into this room, we find possibly the most obvious hiding spot of all time. Oh, there's got to be something in that toilet, right? This is why I always shit in the shower. Don't touch your face after this, James. Back at the clock, we'll put the toilet hand on, and that will open up the next door for the final hand. All these moths. Am I going to have to rub the lotion on its skin? Another hole. A stick. Oh, it's the second hand. I always forget about the second hand. And with that hand done, that means the S door should now be open. And this leads us into our first boss fight with Pyramid Head. Do we run from him? I assume he's invincible. Do we have to fight? I'm from Australia, so I know how to deal with men in armour. You got to take him out at the knees. Did he just leave? Like he just couldn't anymore? I'm not sure whether to be insulted or relieved. I've never had a boss fight where it was just too much effort for the boss and he just leaves. But once we leave Blue Creek Apartments, we finally arrive at Rosewater Park. Oh yeah, there's nothing quite like picking up a syringe on a park bench, is there, James? Out on this gazebo at the lake we meet Maria, possibly the most obvious red flag in all of history. But I guess she is supposed to look like Mary. And for that we unlock Uncanny, and Maria is going to lead us through the next area.
James? Is everything alright?
When we save, Maria comments on it. That's good. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Running through the backyards and avoiding enemies, we get to a strip joint which seems only to serve as proof that Maria is being annoying and trying to waste James's time. We don't stay long and continue onwards through the town until we hear a scream and break into a movie theatre. That little brat from earlier is called Laura. We're going to chase her through the cinema all the way down the street and into Brookhaven Hospital. Just before getting into the hospital, I checked around and smashed my 50th window. Touch of lag on that one. Still following the kid, we find her drawing on the walls, but she runs away when we approach her. We can't follow her just yet because she has the magical ability to pass through doors without a key, and we do not have this ability. So we need to backtrack to reception to get the key to the basement, and going down the basement we need to turn the generator on to get the elevator moving so we can take it up a floor. Maria suddenly isn't feeling too well and she has to have a bit of a lie down. Must be pretty fucking tired to touch that mattress. And now that James is running around solo again, we've got to go and find Laura. To do that, we'll start in the director's office, and that means solving the hand puzzle. It's got a key in its grip, and to unlock that, we'll have to explore and find the 3 medical bracelets. Ooh, a shotgun. That'll come in handy. Hey, you're not a naughty nurse. Well, not the kind I want to see, anyway. In this filing room, we find the marked bracelet. This absolutely filthy bed contains the filthy bracelet, and the bloodstained bracelet is on the wall at the back of this drained pool. In this locker room, I get my 75th melee kill. With the 3 bracelets, we can go and solve the hand puzzle. That gives me the key to unlock the side room, which has the button and the solution to the other puzzle in the director's office, and that gives me the key for the roof. This room on the other side of the roof has a memo in it, but when you turn around to leave, Pyramid Head suddenly appears and grabs you. I legitimately jumped at this point, so fair play to the game here. And he chucks you down the elevator shaft, now on the other side of the steel door where we last saw Laura. But we can hear Laura humming, and in case you have ever trusted a child ever in your life, don't. James does, and she locks him in a room with a monster in our next boss fight. Yeah, that's an odd place for a mouth. Maybe I'll try bashing it a few times. Let's try the shoddy. Nothing but a meat sack now, aren't you? With that thing defeated, we unlock nightmare fuel. But something pulls James into the ceiling and we wake up on the floor in the otherworld version of the hospital. The next puzzle involves opening this box in the middle here. It needs 2 codes and 1 key, and we have 3 paths to take from this spot. Key of bliss? Or are we going to be making some scrambled brains, are we? Okay, with the key and the codes gathered, we can open this box, and inside is... disappointment. I get that a lot. But aside from that, we do get a reveal of a relief behind us that is biting the missing button of the elevator, and we can see that her hands also require rings. Once we find the first ring, Maria turns up not happy, having woken up on the wrong side of the soiled mattress today. Don't get upset with me, darling. You're the one who wanted to sleep on a filthy mattress in a decrepit asylum. Check yourself for pink eye, you fucking moron. Don't touch me. Not long after that exchange, we come to a fridge or a coffin, I don't know, but inside there's another ring. And we'll go back to that relief, and if you like it, put a ring on it, put 2 rings on it, in fact, and it becomes a door that leads us onwards. The piece is shattered once again by the appearance of Pyramid Head. It's a simple chase sequence, but Maria trips. And then gets got. Hey kid, I want to talk to you. You locked me in a room with something, you fucking child. Come here. Having left the hospital, we'll chase after Laura and eventually we'll come to a ringing payphone. There's nobody on the other end, but we get a note and more importantly a wrench, which is what we need to progress. And that will take us back around to Rosewater Park where we will find Angela again. There's nothing special about any of this, but once she leaves, we need to search the ground where she was standing to get a key for the Historical Society, which is our next objective. After a rather long walk, we get to the Historical Society and take another long dark stairway all the way down into the bowels of the earth. I have honestly no idea what our objective is anymore. It seems to be just go forward and we keep ending up in horrible places. The game does not provide me with objectives, which is fine, but not once does James question this strategy of just going forward. We again bump into Eddie before moving on into Toluca Prison. To make it through the prison, we need to find all the weights. The first one is not far from the beginning at the chapel. These weights need to be used on a set of scales which is over by the yard in the other side of cell block A. Balancing the scales correctly opens different doors in A block, and the first one takes us to the serpent section. We need to get to the electric chair, which has another weight on it, and we do this by fucking around with the circuit breaker. Doing this will set off alarms and unleash more enemies, but that's not really a problem for us at this point. Along this path we'll also get the armory key for the rifle cabinet, which was back out at reception. With that next weight collected, we can return to the scales and unlock the next door. This will take us upstairs to see a D block. Since I haven't used the rifle yet, I'm going to go and pop one of these spider mannequin things that are crawling up the walls, and doing that will give me a kill with each weapon, unlocking another trophy. The weight for this level is at the back hole of the showers, covered in bugs because it's not gross enough as it is. Jesus, those newest enemies are a fucking bitch. I ducked into the side road to try and bottleneck them with old shoddy here. This is where I got my 75th gun kill. Opening up the bore door next, we'll run all the way up to the office at the top, type sick into the typewriter to get another weight. And into the basement after that, we'll unlock cell F6 for the last weight. With all of them now, we'll come back to the scales and balance them perfectly so the needle is in the middle to get the execution lever and access to the gallows. For the gallows puzzle, you have to match up the bottom half of the poems with the top half, and based on that you can choose which noose to use to escape the area. The first time around I had no idea of this choice system, but certain actions here can affect what ending you get. If you played before, you know what to do, but this is my first playthrough so I had no idea, and I just randomly picked the first noose. And this dropped me into a basement full of enemies. This is a dead-end room, and escaping it will just lead me right back to the gallows to try again. I got it right on my third attempt. 2 more pitfalls and a rusty elevator ride later will take us to the next area where we run into Angela again. We don't have much time to talk as we are attacked by two bodies in a painting? At first I thought we just had to run from it, but we do need to inflict damage on it until it disappears. Oh, it's gone. And while it has disappeared for now, it is stalking us through the corridors, so we just need to run around smashing TVs to keep moving forward. But we come to the end of these corridor sections and the monster does reappear. Using a combination of small arms fire and blunt force trauma, we will put this thing down to unlock another trophy. Did somebody say it was headfuck o'clock? Because we come in here and find Maria alive. To get to her, we got to travel through the labyrinth using the cube puzzle and navigating crazy stairs. The first path here leads me to a fridge that has seen better days. There is nothing that you want in there, mate. But inside this fridge is lighter gas. Our second path leads to a lighter wick hidden down another hole. Draining this tub reveals the broken lighter, and we can combine this with the other two items and use that to burn down the rope holding the suspended cage. And all that does is bring us right back to the puzzle cube. This second area has no goal but to get from one side to the other. I know this area is a labyrinth, but there seems to be absolutely no reason for travelling to any of these areas but to waste time. Coming to this room, I was looking for a completely different enemy, not expecting Pyramid Head to show up. Oh shit! Naturally, I just ran, and into this room we pop in a sanctum. Can I make it through the wall before he catches me? Oh no, you fuck. That was 10 hours in and that was my first death with a cheap shot. If there was a no death trophy I'd be more annoyed, but that was my first death of the game. Doing this properly, we'll get past him, we'll grab the wire cutters, and then we'll come back out to the puzzle cube again. The final area is just a sequence of rooms where you gotta survive a few waves of enemies, and at the end of all that, we will end up finding Maria in less than average condition. Leaving her room, the cube and the crazy stairs have gone, but we can grab this big sword, as it allows us to get past this hallway of arms. Fuck, this thing handles fucking bad. Glad we don't have to go far with it. Moving on, we're nearly into the next area, but we run into Eddie again. James packed an early snack of knuckle sandwich, which he feeds to Eddie, and that triggers another boss fight. We defeat this Jonah Hill reject while James looks like he's deciding if he should feel any emotion at all. Outside, we'll climb into a dinghy to row across Toluca Lake. Spending 10 minutes on the water will unlock the Scourge of Toluca Lake, so I'm going to go and put the kettle on and I'll be back in 10 minutes. Alright, getting to the other side has us arrive at Lakeview Hotel. This is the final level area of the game. Like with the rest, there's plenty of puzzles and exploration here. The final aim is to get to room 312 and to collect the 3 princess figurines and activate the music box. First we find Laura again, and James does not immediately end her on the spot. James, put a bullet in its brain right now. Just now. Right now. I know how many bullets you have. You can spare a bullet. She locked you in a room with a monster deliberately. Outside room 202, I get my 50th stomp kill. I got this confused with melee kills. I thought I had it already, but they are separate trophies. I have them both now. Inside room 202 is the broken mirror puzzle. Once we fix it, we can place either the ripe apple or the rotten apple, which I had already found, on the plate. I made a quick save before doing this, just in case it's related to different endings, and then went back and placed the ripe apple down, and that will spawn the Snow White figurine in room 201. Further exploring, and now I can open the fireplace and get the Cinderella figurine. Cinderella in the fireplace. Cinder, get it? And that triggers a sort of boss fight with an enemy that has fleshlights for hands and a face. The next encounter isn't really an enemy, but I'm going to call it a boss fight anyway, and it's with this elevator because it won't let James on due to his weight. I get maybe a lead pipe is heavy, but really it can't take a bottle of pills or a fucking photo? I know that this means there's some bullshit coming and you don't want me to have weapons, but fuck you. My stuff better be here when I get back. Due to the game's stripping us of weapons, the bottom floor has us running around avoiding enemies. But following the path, we'll come into a bar and find the third and final figurine, and then we can go back up and get our shit back. With all that done, we can solve the music box and get the key to access room 312. They'd be so screwed if they didn't have a coax cable. James watches the tape and stays in the chair for so long that the place turns into the Otherworld. Getting close to the end now, I think. Coming through the Otherworld Hotel, we find that Maria is still Oh, never mind. And now I'm fighting 2 of them. Oh, good. Wearing them down enough will end the fight and unlock the next trophy. Oh, that was brutal. We finally find her, but James accepts that she isn't the real Mary. Or maybe she is, I don't know. Oh, I died. Oh. Oh, she's going to be a multi-stage fight, is she? Okay. I cannot dodge that at all. I die a few times to her since I suck at dodging, but on the third attempt I put her down. Kablamo! And as we go through the end cutscenes, we see James leave with Laura. This is the leave ending, and that unlocks that trophy. And that completes the first run of Silent Hill 2, 37% of trophies done, with 20 more to get on the second playthrough, but I didn't get radio silence. Not sure if I fucked that up somehow or if it's a glitch. Whatever, we'll have to try that on the next time around. So for the second run, I need to play a little bit differently than before in order to achieve some of the endings without having to go through 100 different playthroughs. First I'll be doing New Game Plus, and I'll be doing it on light mode. In order to save time, we're going to be skipping cutscenes and solving puzzles quickly. This is for 2 trophies. I won't be using any guns to kill anything, or using the radio for another 2 trophies. I need to grab all 3 sets of collectibles for another 3 trophies. I have been picking up things in the first run, but I missed quite a bit and they all have to be done in one run. So we're going to do all 3 of those in this run. And any of the other miscellaneous trophies that I missed along the way. Speaking of miscellaneous trophies, right at the very beginning of the game, we can get our first one. We just need to turn James around and try and leave Silent Hill early. And shortly after that, we can pick up the chainsaw. Since this will be a no-gun run, this is pretty much the only weapon we will be using. At this window is a blue gem. We will need to interact with it in specific locations to unlock one of the endings. What are you fucking doing, dumbass? Am I doing that? Why? After finding the pistol in Woodside Apartments, we'll go past room 207, which has some balloons in it. We need to pop them all for a trophy, but it has to be with bullets. I popped one with the chainsaw and it didn't count, so I had to come back and redo it. After meeting Maria, she will lead us to the strip joint, but before we get there, we'll head on over to the bowling alley. There's a few things we need here, one being a glimpse of the past on this pizza box, which is in and of itself a trophy. After completing the hospital and aiming for the Historical Society, we first have to duck into the motel again and interact with the wall in room 106. And then after arriving back at Lakeview Hotel, and after leaving all your weapons behind and searching for the coloured gemstones, we're going to come into the kitchen. We're going to interact with this trolley. Yep, it's bread. Well, you're not wrong. And that is the last of the miscellaneous trophies. After that, we can start on the various endings. Down at reception, I'll make a strategic save after solving the music box. Much earlier in the game, I found the 2 pieces of the dog key and combined them, so now we can use that key on the observation room door. Fucking what? And this will give me 5 consecutive trophies. We'll get Faster Than Fog for completing the game in under 10 hours. I Saw That Town for completing the game in New Game Plus. The Goodest Boy for the dog ending. As Close As You Like for not using guns. And thankfully I got radio silence this time around. Reloading the save from reception, this time I'm going to go up into room 312 and use the blue gem instead of the videotape. This will get James abducted by aliens to unlock the UFO ending. With the 2 joke sort of endings out of the way, we can proceed on to getting the last of the collectibles now. So we'll reload the same save point again and grab the Lost Memories book from in this room here. We'll need this for the Rebirth ending. Proceed on to room 312, watch the tape, enter the other world, follow the path onto the save room, and interact with the tape player on the couch here to get the last glimpse and unlock Echoes. And then continue on and find the burned note, which is the final memo, to unlock Archivist. And right before the final fight with Mary, we'll go right here and find the final strange photo and unlock Pieces Unarranged. And because we have collected these 4 items and have them in our inventory, when we defeat Mary, that will give us the rebirth ending. Reloading again from reception. This time we're not going to go and pick up that book. We're going to proceed on right until we fight the 2 pyramid heads. Pyramid heads. But we're going to save right before we fight them. Now, I haven't really gone into the detail of how some of the different endings work. They aren't quite as simple as reloading the final fight and choosing a different option like some games would have you do. These last few endings are influenced by your decisions and actions during the entire game. I'm not going to pretend to understand it all, but the short version is that I have been interacting with Maria as much as I can during the second run in order to get her ending next. So we get a different cutscene this time, but the same fight, and after killing her, we leave Silent Hill with Maria to unlock this one. Last ending now, the in-water ending. We'll load up the save right before the Pyramid Head fight, and we're going to do some things that will shift my morality points towards the ending that I want. Firstly, I'm going to inspect Angela's knife that she gave us earlier in the game. I'm going to inspect that a few times. And then I'm going to backtrack and kill these 3 enemies here that are not hostile. They're just kind of sad, but I'm going to murder them. And then during the boss fight, I just need to keep my health down low and stay in this condition for a few minutes. And finally, we'll defeat her for the very last time and get a downer ending, aren't they all? To unlock Only Way Out. And we'll also get Party Like It's 2001 for getting the 5 classic endings. And that's Plat. That was Silent Hill 2. At first I wasn't overly fussed with this game, given the weird dodge mechanic wasn't great. The sometimes awful dialogue and delivery of said dialogue is borderline cringe at some points. But upon rewatching it all like a movie while editing it, I did change my mind a little bit. I did enjoy the narrative much more. It won't stop it being confusing, and I had to look into some of what was going on to understand it, which reminds me a little bit like Bloodborne or something, where you have to do your own sort of research to understand exactly what's going on. Some people don't like that, but I was okay with it in this case. I would put this somewhere around a B tier. It's not my favourite survival horror game by a long shot, but I would recommend it to someone who hasn't played it before, whether you're a trophy hunter or not. Speaking of which, it does have a decent range of trophies. There's some story-related trophies, some miscellaneous trophies, and some specific ones. It has a bit of everything, and that's kind of what you want in a trophy list. Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out Behind the Waterfall.